Welcome back to another episode.
I shall.
Well, let's begin off with another request. To double check where I have to go for this quest. Oh, the path is by some temple. Wherever that place is, whichever wherever that is. Oh, looks like I have to get permission first. Still, the guard placed his spear between you and the path that lead beyond the gate. Still, Astromar, the rest of the city is forbidden, except for by order of one of the Amafala. Trespassing in the Twin City is punished by death. Where is that temple? I don't see it. Must be in one of these areas. And now where is this big shot that I have to talk to now? And must be the big shot.
Another Estramor. What do you want?
I'm looking for another whole pass through the city.
Few Estramoran are given the freedom of our sacred city. That you ask for this person is suspicious. There are reasons we don't let you Estramoran roam our sacred city. Reasons I am coming to understand.
You're having some kind of trouble. Maybe I could help. She shake her head. I'm afraid not.
Looters have grown bolder at the sites of the builders. The people of Defiance Bay set fire to their own city. And every week, the three Tusk Stelgar bring news of more desperate settlers pushing at our borders, trying to escape their plague of Anole-Fane children.
That's probably probably means Solace children, or Hollowborn. You suddenly feel the presence of someone else in the hall. The Amaphat continue to glare at you, but something steps out of her skin. It reaches out to you.
Permitting more strangers the freedom of the city is out of the question right now. Go and be thankful that Anamfath Shemok doesn't sit in the passage of the Six today. He would not be so kind as I.
A vision of a Ornan man appears near Battle. He had the same green-brown fur and hazel eye as she does. Help me reason with them. He points behind you Turning, you see a ghostly shape of 5 other Amphatha, another Ornan with tawny fur and a scared face, frowning dwarf and a black fur Ornan, and 2 elves. You're the leader of the gilded compass. I thought your tribe was more open to outsiders. Indeed, it has earned us a little respect from our peers. These are not times when trust comes easily. The spectral Ornan take another step from her, setting his foot down with a slow, heavy motion. The tendrils of essence strain between them, and Grimace leaned forward, as if struggling against a gale. The angry and frustrated roars. The spectral Ornan voice is a rasping croak. They're headed for war. Remind them of Ferret warning. Does Ferret warning mean anything to you? Ferret's soul gasped. Torn taut thread of incense tug at him, drawing him into the adamant path. He looked up at you again. I tried to tell them the builder's souls have touched even the Ashorn.
You'd better explain yourself.
The builder's souls have touched even the Astromorn.
There's no way you could have known this saying. Not unless you are a Galus on Anons, a watcher of souls.
Ferret tried to warn the other tribes about something. What was it?
Ferret's warning came before the Broken Stone War. Ferret, my ancestor on my mother's side, was Anamthoth of our tribe then. When the Estromoric farmers defiled the builders' monuments, Ferret urged the other Anamthotha to patience, but louder, angrier voices prevailed. Ferret believed that the invaders could be taught to respect the builders as we do. He also believed the builders' souls had spread to all peoples, and that we should avoid needless conflict with others. More practically, he worried that a violent response would only spur further bloodshed across the generations, and you can see where we are today.
At least you don't have the Hollowborn to deal with. Maybe you're better off than you thought. After 2 wars with Strykwood, his warning is more relevant than ever.
While Ferret's words were shrewd, they were ignored back then. Simply remembering his warning now will not undo the wars and the changes that the years have seen. There is blood on these stones, and that is all anyone remembers now.
A image of a polished ivory cube flash in your mind. There is writing on the side, but the image is too faint for you to read it. The amethyst turned away from you and looked to the ground, gnawing at a pointed cube. You can't change the past, but your choice now still matters. She looked at you sadly. Yes, that is the problem.
Another Estromor came through here a few days ago, and, well, letting him through was a mistake. One I am eager not to repeat. The Guided Compass tribe has a reputation for being too soft with Estromoran. One that will not be improved by my failure to stop this man, who has desecrated our most sacred sites.
Maybe I could help.
I won't repeat a mistake in my haste to correct it. We bought Twin Elms from Escrimoran to protect the ancient places that the builders left behind. The builders left this heritage to us to defend, but they alone had access to it. On this much, at least the 6 tribes agreed.
You again see the polished Edward cornerstone in your mind. This time, the image is clearer. Each face of the stone is inscribed with a phrase you know by heart. You feel your lips form words. A gift from the builder of civilization to the guardian of their own legacy. May the guardian watch the door while the builder keep the key.
These were the words given to the keepers of the stone.
What do they mean? She eyed you carefully. They mean the ferret words may indeed be true.
Very well. The city is yours to explore. Tell the guard at the gate that you come to see the cornerstone with the blessing of the guided compass. If the gods have truly returned one of the builders to us, find the Delimgon of Ter Evran in Elm's Reach. If the gods have sent you here with a purpose, the Delimgon will know.
And what skills here I can use? That's the interesting ability.
I'm here.
What is my reputation in the oh, I'm an ally. That's good.
What brings you here?
Sensing your approach, a agitated elven hunter suddenly dropped his conversation and turned to you. What kind of courtesy have you learned in your filthy homeland? A red stripe of paint gleam purely with sweat from cheekbone to cheekbone. We speak of grandfather might be gone. The huntress in the group raised her called Halsan. Seal your heart, baby. Do not forget where you stand. She parts a fine strand of golden hair that floated before her face and acknowledge you with a rod. And the house of our ancestors, the six tribes, we commune as one people. We did look away and fume in a restrained breath. The ancestors will forgive me and my brother when I clean the shame away from the name and from the taint it have brought to our tribe. What happened to your brother? My brother, the hunter, heavily breathing, paused for a moment. My brother, Fayon, is the greatest hunter of our tribe. He set out on a blood hunt, but hadn't returned, and now, Othron, that puny liar, he claimed that my brother would I clench his fists. The elven hunter feels any silent. Arson belonged to another tribe. He the hunters that competed against Fortune during their blood hunt. She gave a glancing look to Witty. Arthur claimed that Fortune had exiled himself, determining not to return to Trinam. With a scarf, his stripe a painted curve like an angry moon, exiled in shame for losing to him during the blood hunt. Can you believe this liar? Even though Aswan returned with the giant Stelgar thing at foot, it's hard to believe that Fyrom would have failed to kill the prey first. The huntress dig her heel on the dark soil, but you cannot claim that yet, really? Not yet until the Amorphas judge the truth. Why would Arthur weak from a lower tribe? Where it bears his deeds, he lies. I find the truth and claim my brother name. Well, even within this tribal society, there are superior and inferior tribes. So much for equality. Why would Arthwan lie about your brother? Would he throw his arm in the air? Why he look at you as if the answers were obvious? Would it please still your anger? He does not know our customs. The huntress turned to you and nodded. Arthur stand much to gain from claiming victory over Royal. It brings renown and glory to his kin. A lesser tribe, the Tri-Split Arrows. Arthur have no history, no name, and now you return a heel, while my brother would have faced twin in Erie, tricked, perhaps worse. How do you plan to clear Fyrom's name? A head of sweat rolled down with a forehead and hang from his red-painted cheekbone like a drop of blood. It quivers as the hunter muscles twitch. I cannot tarry here while my brother's fate remains unknown. The Amarfa let me go. To judge Arthwan and clean our tribe name, they cannot listen only to your truth. The huntress saw her head, glancing at you before the Amarfa only in partial voice can speak for what happened. Freddy whips his neck and drop of sweat lingered on his cheekbone. Flies in your direction. You mean to involve this one? And a Astromar? She points at him. He calls his finger curved like a claw. Listen to me now. Arthur returned. With proof, your brother did not even come back. The huntress blows against the fine hair floating over her face. The tribes are split. Something must be done. At the Astromar, I can look into this without risking tension between your tribes. Water turned to face you, his hard features betraying no emotion and nod. You're right in claiming this. The Amphada would agree to listen. There is no union between you and our tribes. The huntress nodded at you. Fyrom and Arthur went to Northwell Forest, beyond on some paths, to hunt a giant stagger. Touch there and return to us with the truth if you can. But beware, stagger such of size, many times over their Lethargic, usually gather a big pride that follow them closely. This is a lot of conversation here. Vader fixed his eyes on you, two glowing embers over the blood-red stripes painted across his face. Astromar, I don't expect help, but I do anything to know my brother's fate and to clean the stain that Arthur has built on our tribe. He throws his chin back. Anything, this I claim.
Yes?
Well, that conversation took a sweet amount of time. Now where do I have to go? Or speak with the telegram at Irvine.
Indeed.
Let's continue on our path. If I remember correctly, we have to go to the district here. Let me double check. Okay, I have to go to Tel Aviv. No idea where Tel Aviv is. Do not find my patient Astromar. You shall not pass without the permission of the Anthema. I come to see the cornerstone with the blessing of the gilded compass. The guard scowl and look at his companion, who nods back. He turns to you again, his knuckle whitening around the shaft of his spear. Are we still call thee with Astromar? Go then, and mind your step around the sacred stone. Oh, Northwood is up there. I could have had gone through here easily enough if I actually went on a probably that would affect my reputation. Be a enemy of everyone. I don't remember. I don't remember that. There was a quest that I had to do with the druid. Well, I cannot find the quest. Blood Sands, Tiavunar. Oh, this is where Twin Elm is.
You have stayed true to our cause, Inquisitor, when so many others have not. For every heretic we confess, for every betrayer that burns on our pyres, new sheep continue to flock to Iavara ex Incios. But not you. I underestimated you in the beginning, but no longer.
You honor me, Grand Inquisitor.
It is not for honor that I summoned you today, but for duty. Too many of our own have confessed upon the wheel and the rack and the flame. Too many of our faithful have had their minds poisoned by the Cretan witch. The tide is against us now. We have but one option. Iavara's following must see her exposed for what she is. She must confess her heresy before my court.
How would we reach her?
Not in Kratom, surely. Their lord has embraced her heathen faith and protects her with his army. But in Oceanus, things would be different. The king of Oceanus is a sinful man. We have helped him to see the error of his ways, and now he fears for his soul. He would pay any price for absolution.
But how would we get Avara to move to Oceanus?
You have already done much for the Inquisition. I wouldn't ask this were there any other choice.
So I must have been an Inquisitor to Theos group in the past. Sita, tall, identical women seemed to fade into view as they moved away from the great tree that camouflaged them. Their skin is tree bark, rigid and scaly, weathered in a curling tangle of roots, buds, and blooms. Their hair hang beneath the shade of a serrated leaf like the dropping branches of the elm. Above, the pupils of their eyes are encircled by hundred or even thousand concentric rings, as if to mark the accumulated wisdom of a millennia.
Turn around, flesh creature. Outsiders are not permitted to approach the animals.
Well, I'm going to enter there one way or another. Tree woman.
Do you not feel it, sister? Something familiar, reach and soul, like the other one. Another defiler, no doubt. Let us fell him and be troubled no more. We would pay the debt of his predecessor. So it would seem, Leonine. But we must not hasten to judgment. I see different motive here. Different questions in these eyes. What of it, young trespasser? Is it as my sister says? Or are you here to stain this place with foul deeds?
Let's see. Oh, I could be evil if I wanted to. I gladly burned this place down, but I have more pressing concerns. That would be a fun answer to give, but I'm playing more of a good hero in this let's play, so I'm probably going with the diplomatic or the honest answer. My business concerns the health of this land, and you would be wise to aid me.
That may be, flesh creature. But I do wonder whether your intentions are quite so noble as that. Are you here for me? Or for you? He is here for Theos exactly. That much is evident. The answer is yes, Scorpion. We crossed paths with Theos not long ago, and we can tell you where he lives. I find it curious that anyone would seek him out. Suspicious even. If we are to help you find him, we would know why.
Stopping him might end the Raiden legacy.
So that is the reason he passed this way. This is low, even for the Leven King. I told you we should have confronted him, Sheila. He has always been poison. It would have been the last thing we ever did, sister. Who can be said to have ever gotten the better of Theos? Yes, but imagine how much fun it would have been. Can't you just picture them all strung up in vines like an angry little puppet? But that's not what this is really about, is it? You are bound to that man. I see it now. You are awakened. Your soul is awake in something once very deep, now rose to the surface. Past overwhelms present, closes in around you. Your time has nearly reached its end.
I just need to get to Theos.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but Theos cannot give you what you seek. Nor can any man. An awakening cannot be undone, any more than your past can be undone.
What she mean? I thought Mathwood said Adolf's faith is wicked. This is permanent. Oh, this is terrible. Adults will always have that second personality, and I have the path following me. Things can only get worse. We did not come down this road together to be refused passage by a pair of talking saplings. To be chained to such a path, her face is pale, her eyes hollow, a bitter and a grieving watcher. So this have all been for nothing, and I'm not going to lose my mind.
The soul is formless without a past to shape it. Did you truly expect to be able to wipe it away?
I would have lived with it if I could.
That is the penance we all pay. But penance cannot be paid for a past only known in fragments and glimpses. However, as much as my sister speaks truly that there is no way back from an awakening, there may yet be a way forward. Would you agree, Shiva? I would. Were the way not so likely to end in death.
You underestimate me.
Or perhaps you underestimate your foe, old one. Where your soul is renewed in its ignorance in each span of your life, his only grows in cunning and resolve. The man Theos you must already know by now. You are linked by a common past. Something about it lingers within you, festering, unresolved. What it is I cannot see any more than you. And without that knowledge, your doom is certain.
Well, I will find him and have a nice talk to him about this.
But were you to learn the source of this discord, perhaps it could be put to rest. Though it is equally possible it would trouble you as much now as it did then, and merely speed your condition to its end.
My past comes to me in pieces. How do I unlock the rest?
You might wait for it to come on its own, of course. But when it comes, it will replace your sanity's last breath. Such is the nature of your condition. Or you could learn it from someone who already knows.
Theos, who he
It
remembers.
is said the gods made his memory perfect, that he may never forget his charge. If he ever knew, he still does. Not that he could tell, of course. You have followed the right person for the wrong reason, it seems. We see it often beneath the eyes. The soul driving mind and body to unknown places for unfathomable reasons. You may have wandered into Theos' path many times, in many lifetimes, without an awakening to show you why. The only thing that's certain is you did not find what you sought.
You said you know where he went.
He has gone down beneath the tower to a place older than we, where the people of Engrith once walked. He makes his way to the buried city, sun and shadow. May he stay down there and rot with the remains of his people.
He may yet. He won't be returning the way he came, that much is certain. He opened a secret path in the tower's base, and saw it destroyed behind him through some vile means.
Is there another way to get to him?
We know of one. On the burial isle, through the court of the penitents, Breath Yaman. For sure.
Don't be cruel, sister. The way my sister speaks of is not for the faint of heart. A great pit at the center of a forgotten court, where fates were judged in place of crimes. To most, it is simply a gateway to death. With the help of the gods, it can take you where you want to go.
What do you mean with the help of the gods?
The pit is said to have been a means of judgment by the gods. Those cast into it are meant to die. It is that way you must pass to reach Sun and Shadow. The court is old. We do not know much for certain, but it would seem only the gods themselves can grant passage.
What is this court?
No more than a ruin now. It is older than we, a place for the trial of heretics. We were not here to witness it, but at one time there was a group that refused to acknowledge the gods. Neither the first nor the last, of course, but these were numerous and all put on trial for it. Those who did not repent were cast into the pit and imprisoned below. The fall killed them, of course. The prison was not for people but for their souls, and their sentences were eternal. It is said that many of the condemned repented and were permitted by the gods to ascend from the pit, so long as they pledged their service to one of them. But these are old legends.
Well, these gods don't necessarily sound the best of people. How would I ever get the gods to help me?
Behind us is Ter Evron, said to pierce the shroud itself and a place of communion with all gods. If ever there was a time for prayer, you have found it.
Oh great, I have to I have to pray to the gods. This is fun. Is there no other way?
None.
How do I
Ter
pray?
Evron is also called the Hall of Stars, and the stars show us the allegiances of the gods. When stars are in conjunction, we know the gods they represent are appointed as well. You should choose a place to pray where you'll be closest to those you want to hear you. If a god stands alone, you should pray to that god. If they band together, you should address them all. Choose your words wisely, for all gods expect proper homage, and none has patience for fools.
So the only way to get through the pit is to pray for help.
Not the only way. Just the only one that doesn't end with your body impaled on jagged rocks.
Well, if it means jumping into the hole, not praying to the god, and finding and killing Theos through the mind and a spirit, that would be a better option. But I have to go and pray. Who would I pray to?
I would pray first to those gods you like best. I hope for your sake the feeling is shared. Before you go, tell me this, old one. I'm curious. If you were to subdue your enemy, what would you do with him? What would give you peace?
Let's see. This is a important answer. Let's say Theos is the enemy, and he lived multiple lifetimes to have his plots come to action. I wish to undo the harm he caused. What has done it?
You would need to have twice as many lifetimes as he to repair his savage work.
Perhaps there are strides you can make.
All the same, think on this matter. Be assured in your course. In the end, it may mean all the difference, not just to his soul, but to yours. And be warned. Some questions have answers that can never be learned. And it is those that trouble the soul above all others. May you find an answer.
This is going to be deities suit me best.
I'm here.
Where the C1?
I shall.
What does all these books say? What is this? Oh, sword.
This place is one where a spirit lives.
Oh, I think
Yes?
I think I have.
Yes?
I think I actually have to
Yes.
have to step on one of these.
Of course.
This must be Morgan. Some angel god, some masonry god. I think that's supposed to be some hunter god. These must be what would be neutral or evil deities here. What do you have to do now? What are these around me? I don't know what some of these gods are. Oh, in the glittering constellation, you see the grim shape of his jaws are wide open as if frozen in a silent scream. I don't want to die, so I'm going to. Oh, I only have a choice of 4 deities? Why not go with this one? Wait, that's that Barres. I no. Oh, Glenway. Let's see, what does this one? Wimagand? Why not? You kneel before this shrine and prepare to recite the ritual words. Let's see what. I must choose one of these. Let's see. 10, I don't feel it is the right answer to give. Number 2 sounds like the best answer I can give. There is life and death, in death and life. Your words seem to fade once void, as if they were cast into vast emptiness. The whole grows deathly still and silent. Then the ground starts to tremble beneath your feet. What? I chose the wrong words? Or maybe I have to fight them. You kneel and close your eye as you pray. The blackness fades to white, and howling wind fills your ears. The vision that slowly resolves itself is a broad frozen plain. You see a procession of elves in the distance, periodically fading into and emerging from the whiteness. They trudge over snowbanks, their heads down against the driving winds. As you trek past, one man bundled in furs turned his head. You headed for noon frost, and Frost's Heron reached too. Before you can answer, he lumbered ahead. You follow the caravan, and in a couple of minutes you come to a wall of ice. It disappears into the pale emptiness overhead and stretches as far as you can see in either direction. The elf stopped in front of a mirror smooth section that framed like a temple door. It seems somehow thinner than the rest of the wall. You can't see what's on the other side, but a debilitating debilitating cold emanates from within. The elves pull pickaxes and shovel from their sealskin packs and begin hacking at the smooth ice. Their implements flying through the air in a swift, shining arc. Though they throw their bodies into their labor, not one of them so much as not one of them so much as scratches the polished ice. Yet with each blow something below in the distance. Edgar call out to the elves. Hey, you might want to hold on to that. But howling wind seemed to swallow up his voice. The elves hack away, seemingly obvious to furious lowing and tremor underneath your feet. The snow have risen to your knees. Your legs begin to feel frozen in the drift. Try to get Elf's attention. You grab the nearest elf by the shoulder, taking her and yelling over the howling wind. You point in the direction of the booming noise, but she only scowled. Leave us, traveler. We got to get through. We can't stay on this side any longer. Listen, you angered something very big. You better stop. The elf strained to listen as she rests her pick in the mountain snow. Some of her fellow pawed in their labor. A man with a weathered, frostbitten finger turned. He raised his maned hand, and others stopped as well. They stand motionless for several seconds before you realize they are frozen entirely. You touch the elf nearest to you, and he crumbles into a mold of snow. A final gale blows past, scattering the remains of the elf in a chaotic flurry. You notice a single spider web crack in the smooth barrier. It's the only thing that marred the perfect surface of the ice. Whatever on the other side of the strange doorway, you feel it tugging at you. Only when you look back and see the parallel gashes trailing behind your legs in the snow do you realize how strong its pull is.
My end comes to all things in time. Seal the frost-hewn breach and instruct the pilgrims in the patience of Rivagard.
Oh, let's see, which one would be best here? My end comes to all things in time. Seal the frost-hewn breach, instruct the pilgrim in the patience of Rivagard. Fill the hole with a handful of snow. Well, I should. He is telling me to instruct them, so second option would be best. You stick your finger in the hole and feel a singing cold. You yank your hand back, but the fingers snap off and remain wedged in the crack. A hoary worm instantly grow over the smooth surface of the folding doorway, fusing it with the rest of the wall. A crystal of ice grows from the frozen stub. As you examine it, the vision around you fades, and your finger rises from the stone. But a shard of unmounting ice remains in your palm. Find Noonfrost in Twin Elms. Oh, I have to find his place in the Twin Elms. The two Springans would probably know something about that. I have a
Do you wish
question.
to know him?
Hmm.
Until we
The Golden Grove? No, I don't think that is it. Let's talk to them. I remember not seeing any of the snow elves in Heartsong, so it must be at the Burial Isles or Oldthorn. Where is Noonfrost? In Oldthorn, where most of our temple lie. Your eyes can't miss it, Estromar. It's freeze the very lake now. Which way to Burial Island? Oh, there's the Noonfrost.
I'm here.
Oh, Alice want to talk.
If those Delamgon are right, you and I are stuck with our awakenings. Not quite the news I was hoping for.
I'm I am concerned about you. How are you taking this?
Oh, the knowledge that a barely civilized bumpkin will share my mind and body for the rest of my life? That's kind of you to ask. I've always believed that as an ailment I could cure myself of one day. Now, I think she'll be around forever.
You've been awakened for decades now. Do you really think anything would change?
I suppose not, but hope is an unchaste mistress.
And Isaiah, on the bright side, I got plenty of time to figure out how to deal with her. You, Alice, you got to make that decision. What do you think?
I've been thinking about her a lot lately. About her recklessness, her unpredictability. About how my own irresolutions to plague me. I need to stop taking control. And that begins here.
Even as he say it, something struggles within him. The muscles in his face twitch, and his skin quivers. His eyes roll back in his skull, exposing silvers of white sweat beads glistening on his forehead. After several seconds, he sighed and looked back at you. That wasn't difficult as I expected. I think deep down, I always hoped to find a solution elsewhere. When I was a child, I always thought my mother would come home with a mysterious cure, or that my father, without knowing it, would somehow send her away just as he called her forth. I can't pretend that I didn't spend years of my arcane training hoping that one of my instructors would have the answer somewhere in his grimoire. When I joined the Lanki, I hoped and believed that with enough loyal service, I gained the ear of someone in the organization who could help me. Even when I met you and realized your unique talents, I hoped that you might be able to reach into my soul the way I seen you do with so many others. I've been looking for someone else to solve my problem, and now I realize I have got to face it with my own. I've been looking for someone else to solve my problems, and now I realize that I got to face it on my own. What is the best answer here? Number one is good. Number three sounds best for this situation.
That means a great deal to me. Truly. That reminds me of something else the Delangon said. About the gods not being real.
They did tell us to pray to the gods, so that can be entirely true.
Yes, I suppose so. Still, I can't help but worry of the state we'd be in if that were somehow true. If there were no power guiding us in this life and shepherding us to the next.
I'm sure we find our way on our own.
I hope you're right.
We should get moving. It is taking a while to get to level 10. Noonfrost is right there. This is a good point at any to end this episode. In the next episode, I will continue going into the Noonfrost temple here and continuing the main plot line. See you in the next episode.